I think the rest of the country will follow us like they did on cars.
Thank you, sir. Neel Kashkari, 30 seconds,
Make
please.
no mistake about it. I'm an aerospace engineer. I believe in the science behind climate change. His plan.
California voters don't know you very well yet. You wrote and you championed the 2008 bailout of some of America's biggest banks, known as TARP. You then took a job with PIMCO, the investment firm here in Southern California, a company that news reports say made a direct profit from TARP-backed securities. So my question, is TARP an asset or a liability on your resume?
Oh, it's an asset. When our nation faced the worst.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Kashkari, you were asked a question about whether or not you thought a $3 million bonus to an executive at AIG was excessive. And from my understanding of the answer that you gave to Mr. Sherman, your answer was no. Is that correct?
Congressman, my answer was I don't have a number in my head that says this is an appropriate bonus level, and that is not.
Well, does anybody have a number in their head when we spend $125 billion worth of taxpayers' money on AIG? Is a $3 million bonus too much to give to a person who was there and responsible for when that company went under? Yes or no?
Congressman, our track record is clear.
Your track record is clear here. I want a yes or no.
Congressman.
I represent, now let me tell you something. I represent a city, the largest city in my district, has 11.3% unemployment, $41,000 a year median income. In 1980, Rockford, Illinois led the nation in unemployment at 25%. I'm asking you right now, and I want an answer, and there's a reason for it. Is $3 million a year bonus, a $3 million bonus, is that excessive to a company owned 80% by the United States government and as to which over $125 billion of taxpayers' money has been invested?
It is excessive for a failing institution, yes.
All right, so are you going to ask for the money back? Yes or no?
Forgive me, Congressman, which money back?
The $3 million bonus that just went to the AIG executive. Are you going to ask for it back?
Again, Congressman, I don't know the details of the bonus that was paid.
That's the bonus. If he got a bonus of $3 million, are you going to ask for it back?
Again, Congressman, I don't know the details of the bonuses.
Mr. Kashkari,
yes,
an executive at AIG just got a bonus of $3 million. The three executives from the big three said they'd work for $1 a year. I'm asking you, if that's the case, is TARP going to ask for the money back if you got the $3 million bonus?
Again, Congressman, I'm going to have to look into it and get back to you.
Mr. Kashkari, I want to suggest something here, and it's not because of, maybe it's because of the people that I represent. We can't relate to you in your world. I don't know where you come from or the people with whom you deal on a day-to-day basis. But when you sit there and cannot take a position as to whether or not a $3 million bonus to a failed company, and as to which the taxpayers have put $125 billion in assets, perhaps you're not the right person for the job. Perhaps you don't understand this situation at all. Perhaps we should put someone in your position who's one of my community bankers, who understands people.
Dunia Elvir, your question next is to Mr. Kashkari.
Mr. Kashkari, 6 years ago, California voters approved a ban on same-sex marriage, Proposition 8. You were one of the 130 conservatives who signed a brief urging the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn Prop 8. How do you explain your position to the people of California who supported Prop 8?
Yeah. I want the government out of our lives. And, you know, like Governor Brown, I thought that that law was wrong, banning same-sex marriage. To me, if two people want to get married, that's between the two of them and God bless them. And I hope they have
in this debate is for you, Mr. Kashkari, from me. You've called the Affordable Care Act, which is known as Obamacare, a, quote, a jobs destroyer. No state has done more to make Obamacare a reality than California, a lot of it under the man sitting next to you. If elected, would you try to dismantle it here in California, the exchange, all of it?
No, I want to fix it. And here's the thing, Obamacare is very personal for me. My plan was canceled, true story, under Obamacare. my premium went up 27%, and now I can't go to the old doctor that I used to go to. Those are all true. But the good news is I have enough money, I can still afford it, so I'm okay. I've got good health insurance. But I have huge concerns already.
Thank you, sir. Governor Brown, 30 seconds, please.
I mean, there's so many glib statements here that don't comport with reality. I don't know where to start. I feel like I'm getting a sales pitch from I don't know whom. Yeah, Neel. Well, you learned your job well there, working at Goldman Sachs and the rest of the people who wrecked the economy. And we had to bail them out, though. It's kind of like the arsonist putting out the fire. I really appreciate that. But almost about 30% are either undocumented or don't speak English.
Governor, very quick.
Yeah, very quick. The main thing is, do you have a strategy to monitor that this is not going to happen? Because even though if they train the CHP people, the police, I mean, they're going to have that driver license. Anybody can see it. If they go and try to open a bank account to buy something in the supermarket.
Number one,
very briefly,
I will instruct the Commissioner of the Highway Patrol to take whatever steps are necessary to prevent that. I will do the same thing working with the local police and sheriffs. And thirdly, to the extent that we hear anything, we will take immediate action upon those reports.
Thank you, Governor. Mr. Kashkari, would you have signed it, by the way?
Yeah, look, I think that the driver's license one, we need federal immigration, and as governor, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that that happens.
Can I just please, though, for people who are watching home, would you have signed it or vetoed it, though, sir?
I would have signed the driver's license,
Okay,
yes.
good, very good. Next question. This may be one of the simpler questions. Let's see. Let's give it a shot. One of the most talked about bills at the state capitol this year was a statewide ban on plastic bags. So let me ask you the simple question first. Paper or plastic?
Paper, I guess.
Will you sign this?
Well, no, I probably will sign it, yes. I'll tell you what, in fact, I'll tell you why I'm going to sign it. Normally, I don't tell you ahead of time, and we let the bill get enrolled, and I can read it. But here's the key thing. There are about 50 cities with their own plastic bag ban, and that's causing a lot of confusion. And that's why the grocers themselves said, let's have one statewide ban that's reasonable. And so this bill has been worked through, and this is the nature of the legislative process. This is a compromise. It's taking into account the needs of the environment and the needs of the economy and the needs of the grocers. So I think, on balance, this will protect the environment because we have far too much waste and throughput, but at the same time, we're doing it in a very standard way that will not disrupt business in California.
Mr. Kashkari?
No chance would I sign that.
No, you would veto.
Look at what the legislature and Governor Brown have been working on for the last month. Banning plastic bags. Regulating football practice, because apparently the families of California can't decide for themselves how much football practice is enough. And the one that I love last week, personally, Governor, I can now bring my dogs to restaurants. I'm a dog lover. I'm grateful for that.